Hello everybody, welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. I'm Scott, joined by Josh.
Hello.
Josh, my friend, E3 might be dead, if not on its last legs.
I feel like it's been a long time coming, you know. The death of E3 is something you specifically have been talking about for a long time now. But yes, judging on what's just happened, it seems like it's either dead or transforming into a beautiful butterfly.
I think it's Wile E. Coyote in midair who hasn't realised he's fallen yet. So at the minute, it's just, he's still going, but, you know, he looks down, and that's the rest of it. But, yeah, so the latest thing is that Geoff Keighley has now pulled out. Dude used to do the E3 Coliseum, which was sort of the go-to place for all sorts of new trailers and bits of gameplay and everything. Now, the Coliseum came in 2017, but Geoff Keighley himself has produced stuff for E3 for 25 years. So dude is obviously a staple of the industry and the show itself. So it's like that. I mean, what do you think of that as an initial thing?
Well, it is big. You know, we talk about sort of companies and publishers pulling out, but when you then have the people who have been heavily involved, like you said, with the production of E3 and what consumers see and fans see from, you know, the outside looking in, when you have those key players who are so integral in, you know, I don't know, making E3 sort of the flashy marketing show that it is, and I know you always refer to as Christmas for gamers, which I quite like. But
I think I've seen that around the internet, so it's not just me. I never just picked that up somewhere. No one cares what I think.
Either way,
someone else.
Either way, I really like that. But yeah, like obviously, you know, we have the big publishers and the big companies pulling out, but then to have these individual people pulling out, that is also something I didn't expect to see, because I thought that E3 was such a long-standing thing and such an institution that the name brand alone would never see it crumble. But now, obviously, things are changing.
So I have a bunch of quotes from Geoff Keighley himself, and then I'm going to get into the stuff that the ESA have put out in regards to what they want to do with the show. Now, those things are, me and Jules covered them when they initially leaked about a month or so ago, but it's worth going back to that stuff because, oh dear God. But for now, in terms of Geoff Keighley, he said that, he's pulling out. He said it's a whole range of emotions, but he said, given what has been publicly communicated about the plans for E3 2020, I don't feel confident participating in the show at this time, which obviously relates to what the ESA are doing. Yeah. But he's obviously on the ground floor with this stuff.
Well, please tell me, because what is substantially changing enough for him to pull out? What's this new direction?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, he didn't go into detail about what he knows. He said that he can't at this point. He doesn't feel comfortable with it. But the stuff that he relayed to GameIndustry.biz, that's the quotes that I'm pulling, which is just him saying that he doesn't feel confident relating, and he does cite like, it's the publicly available stuff that's out there. So it's the stuff that I'm going to get onto as to what the ESA have already put out. But the main thing in regards to Geoff is him just saying that there are a ton of factors. I don't want to I don't want to let people be disappointed, so I'm getting out here now and letting you know that I'm not going to be there. He said that when you look at E3 objectively, it is really an idea about uniting the industry and the fans to celebrate the medium on a global scale. The future of E3 will be determined based on how effective the brand is at delivering that goal. And
wow, it's so hard, right? Because E3 used to be such a singular beast. I used to wait forever to watch E3. I used to get excited for it all year round. But now it's not the only game in town. We've always had a bunch of other little, conferences and events. But now we are seeing the likes of Nintendo obviously have massive success with their directs. Please do. Yes. Even Sony's moving into that with the State of Plays and PSX. So now it's not the only thing. It's not make or break. It doesn't make any sense from a business standpoint, because I know Sony have said that the connections they used to make there and the distribution requirements for their games used to all be done at E3. But obviously in the modern world, that's not how things work anymore. So the business side has been kind of nullified, and the big bombast of the show itself has not been nullified, but certainly been watered down by everything else that's going on.
Yeah, I think that E3, like, it was always goofy, it was always like ridiculous, it was always like really cringy, but it had charm and it had intent, and you knew they were trying, and it was always like pushing a developer out on stage and letting them sort of sell their game. It was always that. And you know, the roots of E3, it started as a trade show. That's very much what it was. You went there to see what the latest tech companies and the different developers had to show you. It was treated more like a tech showcase, and then obviously over time it's become this sort of entertainment platform. But it's phenomenal. I always used to love the buzz, and I think that's the thing that they can trade on. But at the same time, like you said, so many companies have pulled out of it. To run them down, Sony have pulled out on the year of the PS5, which is seismic in itself. Xbox have said they're still going to be there. Nintendo, right now, Nintendo are not listed on the ESA. Sorry, they are listed on the ESA's official press release, which is what's on the E3 website right now, which just says that a bunch of different companies are committed to appearing. Nintendo's listed, but on the leaked data mined version of that website, Nintendo aren't on the list of confirmed attendees. So they're kind of like a misnomer at the minute. Nintendo don't need need to be there. They can just do the direct instead.
No, it seemed like a story. Well, I can sort of see through it in a way. You have the Geoff Keighley news from last night, and then you have the ESA saying that, oh no, but look, Nintendo are doing something here, and that made me, from just seeing that headline, think, oh well, maybe things are all right. If Nintendo's back in the game, if Nintendo are going to do something big and exciting, maybe that's going to be okay. But from the sounds of it, when you dig deep into what that actually means, no one really knows, and it might not be as substantial as they want you to believe.
No, Nintendo are yet to officially comment as to whether they're going to be there or not. It's just this mix of the data mine versus the official initial statement that's on the E3 website, but is yet to be confirmed by them officially. But all of this stuff circles around what the ESA are going to do with E3, which is the thing that's been out there for a good few weeks at this point. Now let's play a game of try not to cringe.
Okay, this is good because I'm feeling a bit queasy at the moment.
You were doing a bit of a gig last night.
I was a little bit of a gig last night, which has no bearing on my health this morning at all. But yes,
no bearing on what he's wearing below the shirt either. But you'll never see that.
You'll never see that. You'll never know what's below the shirt. It's all
both good.
I feel like a newsman.
It's both good and bad. So this thing came from Game Daily, who initially had their hands on the leaked press deck. I think it's called pitch deck, which is the PR term for. There's so many PR terms. We're about to play. PR terms, don't get grossed out PR terms. So the pitch deck for E3 2020 has leaked, according to Game Daily, and we're just going to run down these things. Now, these tend to ramp up in grossness as we go.
I'm scared because before we started filming, you used some expletives that cannot be said on YouTube without getting demonetized. Yes, you did. You said, well, I can't say what you said, but I'm not looking forward to this. Well, it's like, the F word, the F bomb, just yeah.
Good. So in terms of the things from this pitch deck, this is what the ESA are planning to do with E3 2020. One thing they want to introduce, and this is try not to cringe, will ramp up. So we're starting quite low, and we'll see how we go. They want to initially start with they want to call it a fan, media, and influencer festival.
Oh, already the cringe levels aren't quite, reaching max. But when you use the word influencer, a word that I hate almost as much as the word kind of gamer, like that annoys me.
I don't like gamer.
It's not too bad.
Gamer.
It's like gamer influencer. We're getting up the scale. I don't like
taste maker. That's not.
It's just, not to, go on a complete tangent, but it's sort of, despite being someone who works on YouTube, the amount of influence that influencers have, and the amount that publishers rely on them, it makes sense from a business standpoint because of the reach that they have. But it is, as someone who's not really in that world or sphere, I feel like the old man yelling at the cloud. I feel like the time is passing me by, and I'm not down with what the people are interested in.
Do you know what you might be down with? Might be down with an experience hub.
What's that mean?
I'm assuming games to play. Would you like some Q-tainment?
Oh, what's that mean?
Do you want the Q-tainment, mate?
Oh, no.
One of the things that they want to do, I haven't quoted this word for word, but one thing they've got planned is they want to give people, Q-tainment, they want to give people apps, so when they're standing in the queue, you can still be marketed to. Do you want some Q-tainment?
I feel like I'm in an episode of Black Mirror.
This is only the first 3 of 9 things.
Come on.
So you've had a bit of Q-tainment, you've had a little bit of the experience hub. Next up, they want to make sure that there are exclusive appointments where they can have activations for select attendees who will create buzz and FOMO.
Why? Why do marketing people talk like robots?
No. Square brackets, fear of missing out.
I hate that.
You want to
create FOMO? Come on, these old dudes in dusty little suits talking about FOMO makes my skin crawl. I'm gonna pop in my own pants. This is not good. What else?
So,
what else have we got in store?
Entertainment hubs, Q-tainment, appointments for select activations. Clear the floor. They would like to use the power of social good to play up the industry's social good efforts to attract influencers and celebrities who would offer validation, attention, and excitement across media outlets beyond the video game space.
Madness. You were saying words there, but I feel like I'm drunk. I feel like I've had about 10 pints.
Just like peanuts. It's just like the parent.
That's could be worse, I suppose.
Yep.
Social good. What does that even mean?
Well, I don't know. I assume that they play into the perceived sort of hashtag woke and try and do as much stuff like that as possible.
Interesting.
And everything's manufactured and soulless.
Yeah.
And, rainbow capitalism at its finest.
Interesting.
Potentially.
Okay.
Try and get as many celebrities involved as possible to make the show as bulletproof as possible. Also, use all of this to store positive chits for future use amongst consumers, which could essentially be cashed in against the likes of negative video game coverage stories.
Right, this is part of a larger problem, I think. It's just sort of when it comes to the thing that Take-Two, I think, and a bunch of other publishers were talking about when it came to microtransactions and calling people whales. I hate the dehumanizing, words that I use to talk about what are essentially video game fans, just people, and yet that's been weaponized and manipulated into you're a consumer, you're a chit. We're going to bulletproof this for future earnings of the social good. It's so demoralizing when the thing that you love is talked about in such robotic, cynical terms.
Yeah, which is kind of what became endemic of the industry across the late 2010s. And this feels like the worst aspect of everything that we hate. As someone who grew up with gaming, I know a lot of people did grow up being a gamer, you know that split between getting played to and the sort of inherent creativity, the magic that is in the medium that makes you love games themselves, and the tipping balance between the two, the over monetization of something and good gameplay mechanics and everything else, the back and forth. The needle for this is pinned very much towards the soulless corporate milk the living hell out of it.
It is
side.
That's what E3 has always been, but it at least used to try to hide it. Yeah, it hit it with charm, it hit it with personality. But now we're in this weird 2020 era where things like gameplay loops and influences and shits, it's common in the lexicon. It's just those are words that are supposed to get us kind of excited.
Would you not want a brand activation? Do you know what a brand activation is?
I don't know.
I didn't know what that was. Apparently, an activation is the PR term for when they've planned a whole rollout of PR stuff, all these different pieces of artwork and everything. Activation is where they start it. So if they have a whole bunch of different stuff, obviously the ESA want to make sure that E3 is the place where the new companies launch their new activate the campaign for...
Yeah.
I can't even think of anything. What's the thing?
That's how soulless it is.
The Saints Row 5. I don't know, something that's coming up that they want to make sure everybody knows about. And assumedly in their minds, they think that this is the way to go forward. Now, one thing that Keighley did say in that original game industry interview was that he said that E3 is at an inflex point between physical media and digital, and it needs to find a way to belong. At the minute, it seems like they're very much playing into that all digital. It's very transient. It's very nothing really sticks. It's just sort of be there, see the thing, don't miss out, oh god, and then move on to the next thing. There's no real staying power.
Well, that's exactly it. I was laughing, but the idea of creating FOMO to sell not only the event but sell the games, it does tap into that transient sort of quick, fragile experience, fleeting experience. That's what I'm looking for. And that's not what I want. I want something with lasting power. I don't want just trying to get these instant gratifications and then moving on to something else. It's just, I don't know, it's like we live in this sort of so tuned in world and everything's so fast and your attention span is so short. Exactly, Scott Tailford. But I don't want that to go to my games.
Yes.
My games. I want to enjoy them. I want to get excited for Game of Christmas. You know what I mean?
I tell you what, as well, nothing under this mandate, this framework, will ever create a memory like something like Halo 3 being revealed in 2006, because they won't. I mean, it's not specifically saying that Microsoft won't be there. Xbox is one of the only companies that are going to be there. But in regards to the genuine feeling that was there, everyone was looking forward to that game being revealed, and then it was there. They can't manufacture that stuff. If you start telegraphing it months in advance, and oh my god, please, you got to be there for your social chits and FOMO, and we've got all these celebrities, and make sure you care. It's not the same as scrappy little Bungie dropping their, the culmination of their trilogy. It needs to have that grassroots feel, or the thing that makes gaming so enjoyable in the first place.
That's it. And I don't want to go on about this for too long, but when something like E3 gets bombarded by celebrities or influencers or whatever, it takes away from, like you said, those small moments of magic when Bethesda brings out the developers who are working on their next game, and you can just see how excited they are, and you get the off-camera sort of, whoa, we just did it, that genuine passion that comes through is just suffocated by a bunch of this corporate crap.
Make sure you hit your marks, bring some influencers in.
And of course it's always going to be like that, but I feel like the space for all those brief flashes of genuine sort of passion are just kind of being snuffed out.
Yeah, so let us know what you think down in the comments below, or maybe are you ready for E3 to sort of, give up the ghost and turn all of our attention towards something like the Video Game Awards instead, or, are you thinking of ways that it can improve in the future? For now, though, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com.
I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com.
And we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
FOMO.
Crypto bite.